Today I had the opportunity to meet with Christy Johnston, the founder of Magnetic Cultures. She is doing great things in helping organizations build their cultures so that they can continue to soar and do great things in the world. One of the things that she shared with us was the 50 Flex. So if you're interested in learning more about what the 50 Flex is, you don't want to miss this episode. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Kara Kirsch, the founder of the Ignite Women in Business and Insurance podcast. And it is a lovely, lovely day today. And I'm very excited to be experiencing this new setup at Hurrdat. So shout out to them. They do an amazing job supporting the podcast. But also to be sitting here with this lovely woman, Christy Johnston. Christy, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. This is so exciting.
You're welcome.
Love talking to you. This will be a great morning.
Yes, it will. So I have to tell our audience a story because I'm on all my socials, it says she for she. And that means that I'm for women. Okay. Now, I love men, right? But when I see women that inspire me to want to speak to them, I'm always like, I wonder why that was. And I remember the day that I met you, and it was at an ACG meeting. And you came in, and I thought, who is this striking woman? And so then I talked to you, and I was like, I have to get to know this woman. She's so beautiful. And I could just feel the warmth of your kindness coming through our very short discussion there. And then fast forward, we had coffee at that place on 132nd.
Yes.
And I always forget the name of it, but it's also great. Omaha's lucky. We have a lot of great coffee shops.
Yes, we are.
And so I'm just so excited about getting to know you. Then fast forward, my good friend Jill knows you too. So she texted me right away and she's like, how do you know Christy Johnston? Oh my gosh, small world, blah, blah, blah. And so anyway, here we are today, full circle. We've known each other for 7 months, 6 months, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like I could call you anytime and say, what do you think? I could reach out to you if I needed advice. You're obviously an experienced executive, but also founder of Magnetic Cultures. And I'm excited to dig into that today.
Thank you. Well, I'm excited to talk about all of that, but it was great meeting you, and the whole story is just so funny. It's a small world. Omaha is a big, small town.
It totally is. It totally is. So tell us about your life. Start with, maybe
small topic.
Where you grew up.
Sure.
What did you learn through your youth? Or someone used to say to me once, your youth. So your youth. Tell us about yourself.
Sure. Well, I grew up in Missouri, so I'm a Missouri girl. And I was one of 4 kids with my mom and dad, and grew up in a household where my parents were both very faith-based people. So we'd go to church every Sunday and every Wednesday. And they were very much about serving others in their professional and personal lives as well. I think that's really where a lot of the things I do stem from, because they constantly modeled that for us growing up. Mm-hmm. But I was one of 4 kids.
Where are you in the lineup?
Middle kid, middle daughter. So my brother's the oldest, and then 3 girls, and I'm the middle.
So boy, girl, then you, then a sister.
Yes.
And how is it to have sisters? I don't have any sisters. So was that fun having sisters to play with as a child?
Absolutely fun. They're still my best friends today. They're amazing. We go on trips together. They're lifelong friends, no matter what, through and through. Some will come and go, but your sisters are always there for you.
Yeah. My mom is my best friend because neither one of us have sisters.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
I have a couple of other, my circle is very small in terms of my intimate friends.
Yeah. But
my mother I talk to her every day, at least once. Oh. She texts me every morning, and her texts have changed over the past few years. And now they're just like, good morning, my treasure.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I mean, I will
the best.
Never delete them. In fact, I have 4 voicemails from my dad in my phone that I'm never deleting. I want to figure out a way to save them forever so I can treasure them.
Yes.
So you grew up in a family where family was really important.
Mm-hmm.
And what faith were you practicing?
It's Christianity, so it's Community of Christ.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't sure if it was Catholic or Methodist, Lutheran.
it isn't. No, my husband's family's Catholic, but I'm Christian.
Okay.
So
Awesome. Well, I'm a faith-based person too, so I love that. So then you grow up and you go, you leave home, and then what happens?
I mean, I was definitely a wild child. I always like to go against the grain. I do not like people never have telling me what to do, so I got in a lot of trouble all the time. I had an issue with that. So I'm never hurting other people or myself, but that was something I noticed I turned 50 this last fall. In reflecting personal and professional, that thread has followed me through the whole time my personal life, where I like to do what I'm going to do because I know it's the right thing to do or the right thing for me at the time. And that's really followed me into my adult life. So not caring quite as much about what other people think I should be doing. I just need to do what I do. So I've had that with me the whole time. And then professionally, it's really been about coaching and developing people, which is kind of funny. But went to college and I really wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. I settled on communications. I love communications, but probably more
written or oral or both?
Probably written.
Okay.
I love writing.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm much more quiet. I am really an introvert, which anybody you talk to, they're so amazed to hear that. But I've learned over time to flex those muscles of talking to people, getting out there, being comfortable, welcoming people, being approachable. Because typically I could just sit in front of a computer screen for days and I would be happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Where did you go to college?
I went to undergrad at Graceland College in Lamoni, Iowa. My parents really wanted me to marry a church boy. And it's our worldwide school. There's one in the whole world. So kids from all over the world come there in a tiny little town in the middle of nowhere in Iowa. So it was very interesting, very diverse perspectives, getting to know a lot of different people and cultures and things like that. So it was amazing to do that. I did not marry someone from there. And actually, on a personal note, that did not work out. I was engaged to somebody. And so that was kind of a last minute change of plans. And so then I realized, oh my gosh, I need to figure out how to take care of myself. And so I decided to go ahead and go to graduate school. And that actually is how I landed here in Omaha. My brother was already here in a graduate program. And I was just kind of lost, wondering, where am I going to go? I don't want to go back home. I need to venture out. This is prime of my life. I need to get out there and learn and experience things. So I did move to Omaha, and I actually went to Methodist for their health promotion and HR management master's degree. And it was wonderful. It really was able to fulfill that piece of me. I love holistic well-being, every facet of taking care of yourself, and really focusing on that first, and everything else kind of falls into place. If you're taking care of yourself, you can take care of others.
Yeah. Well, put on your own oxygen first.
Yes.
When you were a kid, this is interesting to me because we're both Gen X.
Yeah.
So I'm 52. So I know what it feels like to turn 50 and kind of be like, okay, what's next? Because half of our life is done now,
Right.
and we cannot go back and we cannot have regrets. And all of the things that I think happen to us, we can hold on to them, but honestly, they can make us sick. I believe that negative things can make you physically ill.
Right.
And it's true. I've seen it happen.
Yes.
But you said a couple of things that I really want to lean into a little bit. And one of the things that you said was you learn to flex that muscle. I do think Gen X, we have a lot of grit.
Yes.
And I don't know what it was like in your home, but my parents both worked. And we had to figure shit out.
Mm-hmm.
There was no one there to make sure that we were alive.
Right.
And fed and laundered and washed and all the things. Now, I don't hold anything against my parents for that. I'm glad it happened because it did make me very strong and very independent. And like you, I was not a rule follower, especially when I left home. So how have you had to flex those muscles even as a founder? So you graduate from college and you move into your life, and tell a little bit about the roles you had and then how you became a founder and then how you've used those muscles that you grew and trained to be a founder and all of those things.
Yeah, so it is. I think with that grit and knowing yourself so well, trusting who you are and really living your life that way, it has been a constant guide for me. And so, throughout school, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do because, to be honest, I wanted to marry wealthy and not work, and that did not work out.
Side note, I wanted to be a Southern belle and live with a Southern husband that was very wealthy so that I could just be like, the spa.
Yes, that would be
That didn't
great.
work
Go to
out.
the gym,
Right.
facials, whatever.
Cook,
And
take
I
care of
still
the
get
home.
that now. It's just now I know I don't have to depend on someone. And that is just so much better. It's a better place to be. But yeah, so back to school and figuring that out. So navigating what that would look like. And really, it was about, for me, I learned from making a lot of mistakes. That's just what I tend to do. And I'm the type to not sit there and plan every detail and then make sure it's all mapped out before I jump in and do something. I actually like to jump right in and pivot and change and adjust and then keep going, working towards something that I think feels right. And so that's really what I've been able to do. So professionally, gosh, looking back at working with people, that has always been something I've liked to do. I love children. So in the beginning, it was swim instruction with kids and then preschool teacher and things like that. Love kids today. I knew I always wanted kids. But then really when I started going after graduate school, I wanted to use my degree. I wanted to use that investment and the things I learned. So I moved into wellness and I worked for Wellness Councils of America. And that was great. It's the sense of purpose with that kind of work was very fulfilling. It just was nonprofit. And I knew I had some bills to pay back for school and things like that. So realistically, I needed to find something that paid a little bit differently. And actually now my husband, I met him at the time and asked what the heck he does. And he was in healthcare staffing. And if you're in Omaha, Nebraska, you either have worked for a healthcare staffing company or you know somebody who has. It's a haven for that here. But that's what he was doing. And so that's actually what started my career in staffing for 20 years. And I started off in sales, and that was fun. Financially, that was a great move for me to be able to take care of some things. But on the sales side, it just didn't fill my bucket for what I was wanting to do. But the connection with people was there.
As in healthcare staffing, sales is recruiting
Or client management, working with the hospitals. So I was able to work with both sides, which was great. But really, at the end of the day, like most businesses, they promote some of your better salespeople into sales managers, which I don't agree with because it's a completely different skill set that you need to lead people compared to actually being a salesperson. And so I was fortunate to do that. And the pendulum went from the left side of well-being and great purpose, but not having the finance, to the right side of sales, having the financial impact, but not the purpose, to middle where I was actually a manager, sales manager, and that hit just right. It was kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It was the middle ground. It was what I was looking for, and I didn't know it. So leading people, growing, developing them, creating that sense of team, the recognition, really helping people thrive and be their best was where I found really what that calling is. And doing some really cool things with that team. 2009, the owners of our business were amazing. Some of the best people I've ever known. They were servant leaders. They really wanted to grow their organization in a very non-corporate way. So they took your typical salesperson and moved them into a chief people officer role. And that was a huge pivotal moment for me to be able to be on the executive team and really focus on culture, engagement, and all of the HR functions for the business. From a different perspective, a different lens than your traditional HR standpoint. They both came from big corporate and they wanted something different. And so that's what they got and that's what we created. And so we were able to grow Medical Solutions to a very large company, and It was amazing. It was a
Mhm.
great experience.
And what year did it sell?
Oh gosh, so a few times.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate to, be part of those experiences, mergers and acquisitions. But the first acquisition we had was a carve out from publicly traded company on assignment
Mm.
back in 2013.
Okay.
So that was the first of a few.
Yeah, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when they happened, and they've happened a lot over the
Yes.
past 10 years in
Yes.
town with medical staffing.
Yes.
Although they're struggling now, there's been a lot of change, and because of I'm telling myself the cost of healthcare, makes it difficult for hospitals to continue to use staffing, but we still have a shortage.
Right.
And so, how are we going to right side that model, which is what I help employers to do, how to figure out their healthcare costs.
Which is a huge piece of the puzzle.
Yes, totally, totally. And so when did you start Magnetic Cultures?
So I was at Medical Solutions, and I moved more into the culture and engagement side of the business. We were growing so rapidly, we needed somebody to take the reins on more of the traditional HR side because we were growing so much, and that really wasn't my forte. And so I was honestly, it's funny, I was out with friends and we were talking, and it was a Sunday, and everybody was getting anxious about Monday. Nobody was happy to go to work. I loved going to work. It was what I lived for. And the people who came to our business, generally, that's how they felt. And so it was just, I noticed my friends, family, people I was talking to, it was just a common thought, a common feeling that nobody wanted to go to work on Monday. And I knew what we had created at Medical Solutions. It was wonderful, but it was a framework. It was a lever system to create a magnetic team. And really that gave me the idea. At some point, I wanted to have my own business, what I could do for other businesses. And really, it's for the people and the business owners.
Right.
And so I care about people. It's where my heart always goes. And if I can help make a difference in the community and for the people I care about, that's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so it took me a few years to get there to really make that leap. But then I did. And that truly is my why, to be able to create magnetic workplaces where people want to be and stay and thrive.
So they don't have the Sunday scaries.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
think companies create that. And it's interesting because through my career, I've had lots of experiences where leaders would email me on Sunday and say, I need to talk to you tomorrow,
Mhm.
or meet us in the office tomorrow at 9.
Oh, gosh,
It's
yes.
terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a new employee now at the Kirsch Group.
Yes,
And
congratulations.
thank you so much. So yesterday we were together. We went to 1 Million Cups downtown. And after that, we were talking, and I had sent her something more as just a FYI about just cybersecurity. Because, I'm all things. I'm the IT people. I'm the everything. And so anyway, I said, did you see the email about that? And she's like, yeah, did I do something? And I was like, okay, let's stop there.
Mhm.
I said, are you someone who gets things and thinks that you are the problem? And she's like, yes. And I ruminate on it. And I said, okay, at the Kirsch Group, we don't do that. You will always know where you stand. And unless I say there is a problem, there is not a problem. And so I want you to, she's 29. So I'm like, if I can change one woman to not go through her 30s and 40s like I did, paranoid and scared all the time. Because for me at the time, I was a single mother of 3 children. Financially, I was doing everything. And so any misstep for me career-wise meant I wasn't going to be able to take care of my children.
Right.
And so luckily for her, she has a husband and they have a little 10-month-old and all the things. But like, if I can break this cycle one time, that is what I'm going to do. And the culture at the Kirsch Group is going to be a place where people thrive, where we don't have burnout, where we're not overworked, where we're properly paid. I want to make money, but I don't need millions. And if I do happen to be blessed to make millions, there will be things that we do to make the world better.
That's amazing.
So I have so much faith in what's happening. And, you have a magnetic spirit. And I think that's what drew me to you. And now hearing the full story in this room, it inspires me even more to want to tell other leaders about you, because companies are struggling. They're having a
Yeah.
hard time. And I think part of it is fear. The economy is really bad.
Yes.
I think it's complexity, cost, AI, all of those things. But if they can keep people together as people and remember the importance of that, people together are more powerful than people separately.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree
But you
more.
have to be like-minded.
Right.
So if you have someone that isn't the same viewpoint as you or can get there, it's more difficult to create that magnetic tie.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
I do agree with that. You want to find your place, your home. And when you work with other people who are same value system, same vision, and they're aligned, the alignment is a huge piece to make that work.
Was the ACG breakfast that you came to that day the CEO of Orion talking about mergers and acquisitions? Did you go to that one?
I did not. I think it was the annual financial.
Oh, the Carson Group one. So the next one after that was the CEO of Orion talking about mergers and acquisitions.
Okay.
And it goes directly into what we're talking about because, and this is true in any part of your life. You said it. I was engaged. That wasn't the right person. That is culture. It's your ability to align with someone. She took it from the lens of when they make, because Carson and Orion and all those big companies make a lot of acquisitions. And they learned early on from some of the failed ones that culture was a big reason why.
Right.
And at my prior firm, there's a lot of M&A activity. And a lot of times when the earnouts met, those guys and ladies, mostly guys, were out. And I've had the opportunity to talk to some of them now on this side. And sadly, as a acquired company, they experienced what I experienced as a recruited employee. So I was told, oh, it's this, this, and this. And then you get in there and it's not.
Right.
And so if you think about business leaders and their culture, what are a few key things that you share with your clients that helps them get recentered in, okay, that's not our culture. Okay, yeah, that person's not a good fit for us because of this. What assessments do you use? How do you get under, and how do you have difficult conversations? What are some of the things that you talk about when you coach?
Yeah, there are a lot of aspects to it. I do focus on the leadership piece of it more than anything, because culture is created from every single person there on the team, and we all play a role in that. But the leaders really model what is going to happen, especially senior leaders. And so I typically work with them. It really is about that. What kind of culture are they creating? Not just what are the values that are on the wall.
Yeah.
And it is really good to anchor to those, and how are we living those each and every day? And are there people holding each other accountable to do that? And really helping for them to look inward and reflect on the actions they're taking. Is it supporting that? So if they say that they're, effective communicators, and that's a core value, are they actually sharing with their people what's going on? Are they consistent and transparent? And do they have different methods to do that? And for communication, it's a two-way street. So it's not just about them rolling out information, but what are they hearing from their employees, and are they truly listening? And having that true relationship that counts with communication. So really looking at the nuts and bolts of that and how they're living it, because it really goes to their actions more than what they're saying and what's on the wall. So a lot of those focuses, but really working with them too when they're talking about their magnetic team, and really trying to create that, looking at the people and the seats they're sitting in. Are they in the right seats? And really assessing that. Are the right people there? Is it the right fit for the organization? Do people live up to that? One of the biggest challenges I hear today, especially with the economy and the fear of letting people go or performance or production, is they have great salespeople, but their salespeople are toxic. They're a cancer to the team. They don't want to let them go because they're producing. And at the end of the day, if they aren't good for the culture and good for the team, they really need to take a hard look at that, because that person might be performing, but the 5 people around them might not be.
Yeah. Well, and I think that goes back to recruiting.
Yes.
So if you recruit someone who is a strong contributor,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot expect that they won't continue to have strong position when they come to your organization, regardless of if your culture is that or not.
Right.
And so that's happened to me a couple of times in my career, and both times ended with me departing. So
Gotcha.
the first time it was a mutual separation, the second time I was terminated. And I do think that, shame on me, because I take a full accountability for all actions in my life. No one else decided but me. But I thought I asked enough questions. I thought I did the right things in terms of asking, like, how do you handle people like me? In fact, even with my new employee, I'm like, have you ever worked with someone like me?
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know what that means.
I know.
And I'm like, well, I don't have any feeling about what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I have passion, but when it comes to business, this is what I think we should do. This is why I think we should do it. My tone isn't any indication of whether I'm happy, sad, mad, nothing. And a lot of times people perceive that. And I do think that's a common theme for women. Our tones sometimes dictate how other people feel, when we ourselves are like, well, I'm just communicating general business information that every adult in this organization should be able to handle.
Right. Yes. And direct and
Yeah.
in your own communication style.
Right,
Mhm.
right. So I think it does start with recruiting. And I think sometimes leaders chase, shiny objects, which are high performers.
Mhm.
But if you don't have a team of high performers, that's a problem.
Right.
And you bring someone in and then they fail.
It is such an important piece. Really looking at your current team and then the new talent you bring in. Looking at, working with leaders, their employee journey, every phase, who you bring in, and that hiring process is so key. Because if you do get that right, and you're hiring not just for skills and experience, but really it's that culture add. What are people bringing to the table? And really being able to assess through asking different questions,
Right.
what they've done in the past, things that really fit the values of that organization. You're much more likely to have people that are going to naturally thrive there, instead of having somebody who's a higher performer. They've got the skills and experience, but then they come in and the values fit is definitely misaligned. It's much harder to not have that person there anymore. They're probably miserable, and they're making everybody else around them miserable. So best case scenario is finding that right person out of the gate. And that's all about the hiring process.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and just paying attention to what people say,
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I think that's important. When it comes to magnetic cultures, who are the type of clients that you serve?
It's funny. I think in the beginning, I served whomever I could. I'm just very honest.
I'm there.
So it's just whoever really needs the help in figuring it out. But it's funny because I think since I've been putting so much content out consistently on LinkedIn, because I love to write and I love those things, I'm starting to attract people that are more faith-based, almost servant leader type of businesses.
Have you ever done a business profile of your ideal client based on your values?
I have not.
So I did that at the beginning.
Oh, you did? Okay.
What is the client that would hire me, and why would they hire me? Who's going to hear my message and care about that? Companies who really care about their employees. So if you think about that, that's credit unions, right? Credit unions, sometimes startups, tech, sometimes healthcare,
Mm-hmm.
where they're like, we really need benefits that are great because we have, a shortage of employees. So I did some work at the beginning around, like, who's going to hear my message and care about it? People who make widgets, who are chasing the bottom line and trying to give their employees the least amount possible, which I do believe is harming their business, side note.
Right.
They're probably going to be less interested in the things that I have to say, because a lot of my message is around, let's not continue to do things and have it land on the backs of our people. you
That's
know?
wonderful.
And so I think that's why I asked you the question. And so people are reaching out to you now.
Yes, it's so funny. I feel like I was chasing before, and now people are reaching out to me, and through conversations and coffee connections and things like that, I'm realizing, oh my gosh, they're faith-based leaders. They care about their people, and what I'm putting out there is coming back now at this point, 3 years in, and so it's really exciting to see that, and it just feels so much less work
Mm-hmm.
to make it happen and create an impact for them because it's right in line with what they want to do. I'm just helping them fine tune a lot of the things they need help with and meeting them where they are.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And tell me about you have a beautiful family.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about your family.
So my husband John is amazing. We've been together for, married for over 20 years.
Kudos
Together.
to you.
Thank you. Marriage is not easy, but it's wonderful. But he's a great guy. He's been in healthcare staffing since the beginning of time. Probably one of the first people in town. But he's such a great person, best friend for sure. And then I have 2 kids. Gabby, she's at Creighton. She is going to be a senior in undergrad, and she wants to be a dentist. So she's taken the DAT, and she studies 7 days a week. She is very focused, very driven, self-motivated, great person. She wants to cater to patients with special needs. So we're so proud of her.
Oh, yeah.
She's great. She has a great heart. She has a servant heart for sure. And instead of joining a sorority, she joined service group and leads that. And she's just all about helping community.
Love it.
And that's who she is through and through. And then my son, Jacob, he just graduated high school. That was an exciting day. He was so proud of himself, and we were so proud of him. He is on the spectrum, special needs. Boy, my buddy, everywhere I go, Jacob is pretty much there with me. It's he and I. But he is just so much fun. He doesn't talk a lot, but we can do everything together. And it's just so much fun. This summer, we get to spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out really what his next chapter is. He'll be going to 360 and figuring out things he can do, beyond school.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I did some volunteer work at an organization a couple of years ago. I can't remember the name of it, but it was on 156th and Maple. And it was a place for people with special needs. They could go and they could try different jobs.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
What's it called?
So I know the sentiment. I don't know the actual location.
Yeah.
There are a few different ones. So I know they have vocational rehab. They have, oh my gosh,
so
360, CRCC. There are many groups that really focus on that.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. It's the social piece. It's the living independently, the finding a job, just trying a lot of jobs to see what sticks.
Well, one of the things that the leader there, as he was like teaching us about what we were going to do that day, because we all had various jobs, I chose tree trimming. Oh, I wanted to be outside. But anyway, he was like, the center exists because one of the reasons? He said, what's the first thing people ask you when they meet you? What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
And so for people that have special needs, not being able to answer that continues to alienate them, and I'm paraphrasing, from the world.
Yes.
And so if we can help them to become part of the world and be able to say, I work in a kitchen, I'm a cook, I'm a line prep, I work in the garden, I'm a gardener. Because right now, there's just so much opportunity to do so many things.
Right.
And so I was really proud of the organization, which I did not know much about. And the other thing that they had that was really great was a gift shop. And it was high-end stuff in there. And it was all donated.
Oh, wow.
And the people who go there are the people who staff it and set it up and all the things. And so, there was this beautiful china there, and I thought, I'm not going back to buy this. It was kind of like St. Vincent de Paul a little bit. That reminded me of. So it was all donation. And so now I'm like, well, I'm taking my good stuff there because all the money goes right here in our community. And I do care about that.
Yes.
Let's keep our money. Yes, I think the national and global organizations are super important, but locally, we should be protecting each other.
I agree. Yes, I think it's so important. I know just having that community impact, and I'm really trying to figure out where to focus my efforts. I tend to really want to donate time and finances to kids.
Yeah.
And when I'm thinking about really the common theme there, it tends to be that almost the invisible. And it looks differently, but adults with disabilities, that's a big one for me.
Yeah.
Looking at Jake and his experiences and really just having those connections and relationships and opportunities for them is so key.
Yeah.
But also, just looking at workplaces, who are the people that are never recognized? And so I'm super happy to be able to sponsor some of the Omaha Impact Awards coming up this
Oh,
fall.
yeah.
And I love that Lepore is doing that because there are so many people who are working in Omaha who will never be recognized. But they
Yeah.
show up every day and give it their all and put their heart and soul into it. And this is just a way to recognize them when typically they're not.
Yeah. I love it. It's so great. It's so, so great. What would you say about, so you launched the company. What pitfalls did you learn quickly or even now that you would share with others to be like, hey, I suggest this? One of mine that I share with people is have a bookkeeper. Like, I don't know that. I mean, I know how to do it, but I don't know how to do it. Does that make sense?
It does.
And so I got referred to this woman and she was like, well, you're a little small for me, but I'll charge you a flat retainer every month so that you can ask questions and I'll oversee your QuickBooks.
Oh, that's great.
And so I was like, oh, thank God. So she charged me a startup fee and set up all my accounts on QuickBooks and linked my bank accounts, did all of that with me so that I could learn, and then taught me how to reconcile. And so every month I just email her and say, hey, I'm reconciled. Will you give it a second check? And she does.
Oh, that's
And
wonderful.
so that's been awesome.
Yeah.
But what things have you learned as a founder and CEO of things that you're like, yeah, get someone for this, or any other pitfalls?
Yeah, I would say, well, in the beginning, I like to learn a little bit of those things myself just so I have an idea and I don't fully release the reins to someone else just because sometimes I have trust issues and I just want to make sure that I'm not getting taken advantage of.
Which is
Um,
very highly likely.
And
Sadly.
so all of those things I have my hands on, but I would say I had some help with marketing because I know, there are a lot of people in this space, and to be able to stand out, I need somebody who knows their stuff, who can give me guidance and help with branding and all of that fun stuff. I do have an accountant we can really lean on for tax purposes and looking at those things. Numbers and technology are not my forte. So I like to focus on my strengths and not things that I'm not going to be good at. And I don't want to spend all day trying to figure it out either.
Yeah.
So I would say those would be the things. For me personally, I would say because I am more of an introvert, I had to force myself to get out there and network. Not something I typically look forward to now. I can just walk into any room and say hi to people and introduce myself and feel confident and comfortable with it. I don't get nervous. My palms aren't sweaty or anything. In the beginning, it was like that.
Yeah.
It just wasn't something I looked forward to. But now I know it's part of the deal. So I would say just get out there and do it. Even creating videos for content. I did it 50 times for the first one because I wanted it to be a lot better than it was. And at the end of the day, I heard just be authentic. The mistakes are fine. People want to see who you really are, not perfection.
Oh,
And so now that's really what I lean into. But I would say those were some of those things. Just don't strive to be perfect. Just strive to be better.
yeah.
And just
Take a
focus on
step.
being authentic. Yeah. And be who you are. Walk into a room. You deserve to be there just as much. So I would say it's more of my inner self work that I learned from and some of those pitfalls in the beginning that were holding me back.
Yeah. Yeah. The limiting beliefs.
Yes.
I did videos for my website when I launched, and I didn't even notice this, but my daughter, of course, was like, what was the lighting in those videos? I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, you look like you're a ghost. And I'm like, well, I'm not redoing them because I like what I said,
Mm-hmm.
and what I said is me.
Yes.
And if you closed your eyes and just listened, the words would be meaningful. And so
Right.
I never did redo them. And in fact, now there's AI that can change your facial tones in those videos.
Oh,
And
nice.
so my marketing team's like, well, I think we can fix those.
Oh, great.
And I'm like, okay, well, whatever, but let's not waste a lot of time on it because I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I am a 52-year-old woman and it was winter. And so I was
Yes.
very pale, like
Yeah. It's real.
it's real. And what I was saying was very genuine. And I think that that's allowed me to be the person that I always wanted to be. For the first time in my life, I feel like myself. And that is a beautiful feeling.
It is.
And even yesterday, and I think also taking care of myself differently than before, resting. I didn't know how to rest. I'm an extroverted introvert. So yes, and yesterday's a good example of how that hits me. So I'll go, 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 and then crash. Go, 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 crash. As a founder, I've been trying to be more thoughtful of that. And so when I feel myself getting to a place where I'm going to crash, I'll pull back. So I was supposed to have dinner with a friend last night, and I just was done. Yesterday morning, I knew I'm done today. I don't want to put on a fake face. I don't want to eat crappy. I don't want to drink. I just don't want to go. Not because I don't want to see that person. Yeah. So I texted her exactly that. And I said, I want to spend time with you and I want to see you. And today is just not going to work. And she said, girl, I get it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I said, thank you for giving me grace. And she said, always. But a lot of times because of, how we're raised or how we show up or whatever, we think we have to be all things to all people all the time. And that's just not true. We don't have to do that. What are some things that you do from protecting yourself from burnout, exhaustion, not showing up well in the relationships you care most about?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, back to when I did turn 50 and a lot of self-reflection, you hit that milestone in life and you look at your life and what have you done well? What are things you want to change? You have the other part of your life left. Start living it the way you want today. And so I came up with a super cheesy theme of the 50 flex. So really focusing on that mind, body, and spirit. And I've been able to really focus on that. So, and there's simple little things. I know about behavior change. It's one of the hardest things to do. And so it's taking one simple thing and making it a consistent habit for a while before you layer in a lot of other things. And so,
yeah, I call that not going 0 to 100.
Right. And then it's going to stick. And so
what's one thing you're doing?
Oh gosh. So I would say I stopped drinking. I just stopped drinking.
I'm considering
Because I enjoy it. And my husband, it was something we always did, even on vacations. Gosh, have margaritas, have fun, be on the boat. It's just that lifestyle, but not doing it. I feel like I have so much more energy. I sleep well. I look better. My skin looks better. I don't actually miss it. And I've replaced it with, yummy seltzer water or something, which is not the same.
I'm going to say gummies.
Oh, my God.
I've replaced it with marijuana.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, a lot of people have.
Yeah.
A lot of people have. In fact, the alcohol industry is not thriving.
I can imagine.
And it's not thriving because people are doing gummies and other things. I'm not. But a lot of people in my circle and my parents, like all of it.
Oh, that's so
it's
funny.
Hilarious.
Yeah, people are still looking for something.
Yeah.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, I love that taking care of yourself. I would say the one thing that I do is write.
Oh, awesome.
And I joined a parish. So I'm Catholic and I did a parish search for 2 years, which is way too long. But in December I went to Christ the King and I just felt the Holy Spirit and I felt at home. And so I joined. One of the things I've always wanted to do is teach catechism.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Now, I was a good mother, but I was stretched super thin. I loved certain seasons of motherhood. So like I loved it when my kids were little. When they became teenagers, it was so hard and so terrible. And they're just one person is not meant to raise 3 teenagers. It's
Yeah, it's a
terrible.
lot.
You literally are like, fine, do whatever you want because you just have nothing to give.
Right.
But yeah, so I emailed the lady at church and said, "Hey, I'd like to volunteer to teach catechism." She said, "Wow, how did you find us?" So I thought, well, they must not be getting very many volunteer emails about teaching CCD, but I'm pretty excited about it.
Oh, I would too. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I've been way more involved in church and everything too, and getting back to that faith base that I floated away from for quite some time. And yeah, just that consistent working out. It's just focusing a little bit on each category and keeping myself accountable has made a huge difference with living the life I actually envision for myself
Yeah.
and doing the work I want to do. It gives me the energy to be able to do it.
Yeah, I love that. So as we wrap up a little bit today, first of all, great conversation.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
Just a couple rapid fire questions. What's your favorite book?
So I actually brought you a copy, and I know it's the
Oh.
cheesiest thing ever, and look how tiny it is.
I love it.
So, Rick Havenridge, he's here in Omaha. I don't know if you know him. He's in insurance, not health insurance. He actually gave this to me when we met for coffee through a networking event also, but it's called Best Day Ever. And it's an amazing story. It's written by this gentleman here. He's now a young adult, but
Thank you so
someone with
much.
disabilities. It's all about positive mindset, no matter what the obstacles are. Because the reason I think this is the best, it's not a huge business book. It's not anybody could read this in 20 minutes. So I'm giving this to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I wasn't expecting to get a gift.
It is a quick read, but it's all about staying positive and being full of joy no matter what is going on in our lives, being very grateful for what we have. And especially him, of everything, he just teaches lessons from it. And I think that inner voice that we have dictates everything we do in life. And so it sets the stage for that.
I agree. What would you say is a motto of yours?
Be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
I would say that's a big one, just because I love to be able to take risks and do things that I know I'm probably not quite there to do, but it makes you grow. It makes you develop. It stretches you. Walk into rooms where you're with other people that you know are probably out of your league or have done some other things, and learn from it, connect with them, help how you can.
Yeah.
You're always going to get something from it, and likely they will too.
Yeah. Agree. How can our listeners connect with you and find you?
Actually, I have my website, magneticcultures.com, or you can email me. It's a great way to do it. cjohnston@magneticcultures.com, or feel free to just call me 402-216-4892, and I'd be happy to have coffee or catch up with whomever wants to.
So first time ever, guys, that someone gave their cell phone other than me.
It's out there.
Yeah. Well, this has just been pure gold, and your bright light is so contagious.
Thank you.
And I'm so very grateful that we had the opportunity to meet and that we've had the opportunity to get to know each other. And I look forward to continuing to see you thrive and soar, and anything that I can do to be supportive of you, I welcome the opportunity. And all of the women that are listening, I hope they are too. And then I just want to give a plug too that the Ignite Women in Business Conference date is set for next year. It's March 2nd.
Oh, awesome.
And so hopefully you can share the word with your friends and other people, colleagues, your daughter. We love having young women. Because the first time we had young women, I sort of pulled them out of the crowd at the end and said, "What did you think?" And one of the women said, "I didn't know women do this."
Oh, wow.
And so that to me was like, okay, Kara, so now I intentionally give tables and seats to students at a discount. Because I think it's so important that they do come and see, like, oh, wait, we don't have to be competing and fighting for attention and all the things that we learn to do as women. We can actually embrace different thoughts, and we can be comfortable sitting with women who are doing bigger and better things than we are, in the hopes that we will too. So that's become something that's really important to me.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I will definitely spread the word. I was there this year. loved it, and I will absolutely go next time and see if Gabby can go too. That would be great.
Yeah, what a great day for the two of you.
Yes, it
Yeah.
would.
And even your sisters.
Yes. Oh my gosh. If
Yeah.
they can come in town, I would love it.
Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thanks everybody for listening. Thank you, Christy, so much for being with us. It's been a lot of fun.
you're
continuing to get to
welcome.
know you.
Thank you.
And for those of you that are listening today, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you have comments or suggestions on content or topics, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And just sending all the love to our listeners. Enjoy your day. And Christy, thank you so much.
Thank you too. I sincerely appreciate it.
You're
Have a
welcome.
great day.
Yeah.